Nobody in America had heard of Cerebras 2 years ago. The company had no famous CEO, no Super Bowl ads, no culture wars, no drama. Just a team of engineers in Sunnyvale, California, quietly building a chip so strange, so impossibly large, that most of Wall Street thought it was a science experiment. On May 14th, 2026, Cerebras Systems listed on the Nasdaq. Shares priced at $185. Then the market opened. The stock hit $385 in minutes, nearly double. The company that nobody had heard of was suddenly worth over $100 billion, the largest tech IPO since Uber. And here is the part that should stop you cold. Nvidia has been the undisputed king of AI chips for 3 years, but Cerebras just walked into its kingdom, and it brought a weapon nobody expected.
To understand why this IPO is different, you need to understand what Cerebras actually built. AI chips, the kind Nvidia makes, are designed to be small, efficient, manufacturable. Nvidia's flagship H100 chip is roughly the size of your thumbnail. It is an engineering masterpiece. Cerebras looked at that chip and asked a different question entirely. What if we made a chip the size of a dinner plate? Not a collection of chips connected together, one single chip, the size of an actual dinner plate. They called it the Wafer Scale Engine. It is 57 times larger than Nvidia's H100. It holds more than 4 trillion transistors on a single piece of silicon. And in 2026, in the age of AI inference, where speed and efficiency of running AI models matters more than ever, that insane bet is paying off. Andrew Feldman co-founded Cerebras in 2016. He had a simple theory that sounded impossible. AI models are constrained by how fast data can move between chips. So, eliminate the movement. Build one giant chip that holds everything in one place. The data never leaves. The speed explodes. His investors called it visionary. His competitors called it naive. His manufacturing partners called it nearly impossible. Cerebras was trying to build on a single wafer of silicon what every chip engineer in the world said could not survive production. Normal chips are cut from a wafer after manufacturing, hundreds of tiny chips from one wafer. Cerebras used the entire wafer as one chip. One flaw anywhere, and the entire wafer dies. Yield was a nightmare. Costs were astronomical. For years, Cerebras had revenue in the tens of millions, while burning hundreds of millions to stay alive. In 2024, the company lost nearly $500 million. They were a punchline to people who did not understand what they were building.
Then, 2025 happened. The AI inference boom arrived faster than anyone predicted. Every company on Earth suddenly needed to run AI models, not just train them, run them, respond to prompts, process documents, answer questions, millions of times per second. And Cerebras' giant chip, the one everyone called impractical, turned out to be extraordinarily fast at inference. Faster than Nvidia in many benchmarks, cheaper per token at scale. And then came the deals. Amazon Web Services signed a partnership. OpenAI, the most important AI company in the world, signed a compute deal worth more than $20 billion over 2 years. OpenAI's own CEO, Sam Altman, personally held 89,000 Cerebras shares going into the IPO. Think about that. The CEO of OpenAI was a Cerebras shareholder. The two companies were not just partners, they were deeply intertwined. Revenue jumped 76% in 2025, hitting $510 million. Net income, actual profit, reached $237 million. A 47% net margin from a company that was losing $500 million just 1 year earlier. When Cerebras filed to go public in September 2024, regulators stopped them. More than 85% of their revenue came from one customer, G42, a UAE-based AI company. The national security questions were real. Who controls G42? What are they building? Who has access to these chips? The filing was withdrawn. Cerebras spent a year fixing its customer concentration problem. They landed OpenAI. They landed AWS. They landed more Middle Eastern institutions. By the time they refiled in April 2026, G42 was down to 24% of revenue. Still meaningful, but no longer a single point of failure. Regulators cleared the deal. Institutions lined up. The order book closed 20 times oversubscribed. 20 times! For every share available, 20 buyers wanted it. Morgan Stanley, Citigroup, Barclays, and UBS underwrote the deal. The final price, $185, was set above the expected range. And when the market opened the next morning, retail investors bid it to $385 in the first hour. Nearly every major shareholder became a billionaire before lunch.
So here is the question nobody can answer yet. Is Cerebras a company that just proved the biggest idea in AI hardware? Or is it a company that got very lucky, very fast, with customers that could walk away? The risks are real. OpenAI accounts for a massive share of revenue. If that relationship changes, and OpenAI has said it wants to build its own chips, Cerebras is exposed. Nvidia is not sleeping. Its ecosystem, CUDA, the software layer that every AI developer knows, is the deepest moat in tech. Cerebras has no equivalent. And there are analysts who watched this IPO and said simply, the valuation does not make sense. Not yet. But here is what the market said on May 14th, 2026. Investors who had a chance to own Cerebras at $185 bid it to $385 in minutes. Not because the numbers were perfect, because the bet was clear. If Wafer Scale AI is the future, Cerebras owns the patent on it. The chip nobody thought could be built is now powering some of the world's most important AI workloads. And the company nobody heard of is worth more than $95 billion.
If you want to understand the companies, the bets, and the technologies that are quietly reshaping the world before everyone else notices, subscribe to Silicon Strategy. We find the stories before they become headlines. And trust me, Cerebras is just the beginning of what is coming.